Ever wondered what it would be like to have loyal customers who eagerly return to buy your products again and again? This is the key that top e-commerce brands have mastered, and is one of the biggest drivers of their success. Assuming you have a great product, the missing piece is a cost-effective way to keep sales rolling in. In this video, I'll walk you through a straightforward process to boost repeat purchases starting today. But before we dive in, who am I and why am I qualified to tell you all this information? My name is Iradia and I'm the founder of IDMA, which is a growth consulting and management firm for e-commerce and direct-to-consumer brands. At IDMA, we simply help e-commerce brand owners scale their e-commerce brands to multiple 7 figures or 8 figures a year by implementing our growth infrastructure into their businesses and managing it on their behalf. In other words, we partner with brand owners and take care of the marketing and sales department within their business to make it inevitable for them not to achieve profitable, predictable, and sustainable growth with their brands. We've gone through 3 components of our growth thesis. So we've gone through audience research, offer refinement, promotion, and funnel optimization. Now we're on the 4th phase of our growth infrastructure, right? Or the 4th component, which is retention, right? Now, this is the last implementation phase of our IDMA growth infrastructure, and it's the most important phase. I remember what we said at the beginning, when we went through the growth thesis. You need to implement a retention system to increase the number of conversions that your brand is able to generate. That forces down, that drives down your blended CAC, which means that your overall CAC goes down and you make more profit. Your lifetime contribution margin increases and your CAC goes down, your profit margin increases, right? The margin is higher. So this last implementation phase is very important. So we're gonna go through retention, right? Step by step, breaking it down, right? Now, let's get to it. Phase 1, after phase 1, of course, right? It's the most, obviously without phase 1, we have nothing, right? Phase 1 is the audience research and offer refinement, right? That's where we work, that's where we get to understand your target audience, and we also work out your offers and your unit economics, right? So without phase 1, we do not have anything. We need to go through phase 1, then phase 2, then phase 3, and this is the 4th phase, right? So this is essentially the second most important phase after the phase 1, right? Because without phase 1, we have anything. So anyways, phase 1 is the foundation to everything. Now we will be breaking this last phase down, or this last phase that we're going through, because obviously there's still one more phase after this one, but we won't be going through that in this training. So this is the last phase that we're going to be going through, right? Now, we'll be breaking this last phase down to 4 implementation steps to make things easier to understand, right? So this last phase, we're breaking it down into 4 implementation steps. So basically 4 sub implementation steps, right? So just make things easier to understand for everyone. But before we do that, allow me to re-emphasize something again. Increasing ad spend on paid customer acquisition channels will allow you to scale your revenue, but only up to the target market segment saturation point. After the target market segment saturation point, you could become unprofitable if you do not work out your unit economics before you start advertising and keep an eye on the incremental impact of ad spend. Remember, break-even CPA and break-even ROAS. If you've skipped this training, right, and you got to this point, you're gonna have to go back and go to phase 1 and understand what break-even CPA is and break-even ROAS is. I won't be going through this on this training, but as I said, if you go back to the beginning of this training, essentially, you'll be able to find out what these 2 metrics are: break-even CPA and break-even ROAS, if you don't already know what they are, right? I showed you how we do this in phase 1, so you should be good to go now. Something I want to add here as well is that we don't want to fully rely on Meta or any other ad platform to access eyeballs. We want to have our customer base off these ad platforms and be able to drive traffic to our website at the cost of nothing. Okay, maybe not nothing, because we still have to pay to get our products made, and technically every sale actually costs money, as we've already established when we went through the growth thesis at the beginning of this training, right? But at least we do not have to pay these ad platforms, Meta, TikTok, etc., any money, which increases the amount of profit we make from every sale. Now, that said, paid customer acquisition is crucial to make the IDMA growth infrastructure work, but it should not be your only way to generate revenue. As an e-commerce brand, you need to look for a way to scale your brand in the most profitable, predictable, and sustainable way, right? And to scale your brand in the most profitable, predictable, and sustainable way, you need to become seriously obsessed about the retention of your customers. Every big business is able to get their customers to come back and buy more and more and more from them, and again, and again from them, right? Every big business does that, right? Remember what we talked about earlier. To scale your brand, the two most relevant metrics are lifetime contribution margin and customer acquisition cost, right? The goal is not just to acquire new customers, ROAS focused approach. So if you just focus on acquiring new customers, right, or generating sales through paid acquisition, that's a ROAS focused approach. The goal is also to retain these customers by owning their attention and building a relationship with them. Lifetime contribution margin focused approach. That's what you want, a lifetime contribution margin focused approach. This is what scales companies, right? This parasocial relationship you build will make customers come back and buy more, thereby increasing your lifetime contribution margin. To build this relationship in the first place, you need to ask yourself, how are my customers / potential customers interacting with my brand? Here are a few examples of how they may be interacting with your brand. Number one, browsing your website, right? 2, adding a product to the cart. 3, starting the checkout process. 4, first time purchase. 5, subscribing to your newsletter. 6, unengaged customers, rarely opening your emails, trust / relationship has not been established. 7, very engaged customer, regularly opening your emails, trust / relationship has been established, right? 8, coming back to your website and buying more products, becoming a repeat customer. The goal is to craft email / SMS experiences around those interactions, those core interactions, and make them highly contextual to each customer. Now, brands that sell are brands that are able to execute compelling storytelling. Getting a customer to buy a second time or a third time is significantly easier than getting a potential customer to buy for the first time. A customer that's already bought from you once, they've already received the product and had a good experience, is more likely to buy a second time, right? You don't have to try and convince them that your product is good because they already know that the product is good, right? They already bought once, already experienced what it's like to use your product, right? So it's a lot easier than convert someone that has never bought from you, right, before, right? So implementing this last phase will dramatically increase your bottom line revenue and completely change the trajectory of your e-commerce brand. Okay, let's get into the technical aspect of things, the technicals of the technicalities, right? So let's get to it. Number one, right? So the number one, as I said, this retention phase, we're gonna break it down into four segments, right? The first one is deliverability, right? This is probably the most important thing when it comes to retention. In fact, the most important thing when it comes to retention. And here's why. If our emails aren't even landing in our customers' inboxes, our emails will not be seen. And if our emails aren't even being seen, forget about sales. If we can't even get into our customers' inboxes, they won't see our message. And if they don't see our message, they can't buy, right? So no attention equals no sales. What makes this worse is that if we are not able to make sales through retention, our ability to scale paid acquisition profitably is limited. Remember, I said, even if your ad account numbers look bad, if you have a retention system in place and your business numbers make sense, then you can continue to scale as long as your business numbers make sense. Even if your ad account doesn't look good, even if your ROAS is suboptimal, you can continue to scale as long as you have a retention system, right? And without this retention system, you won't be able to carry on scaling after a certain point. So this retention system is essential, right? Especially when you're spending a lot of money on these ad platforms like Meta, TikTok, Google. Having a retention system will allow you to carry on scaling even when you're getting diminishing returns, right? And on these ad platforms, right? Remember what we talked about during the breakdown of our growth thesis, right? I said this before. So again, if you haven't watched that, go back to the beginning of this training and you see the breakdown, right? I say all of this to say that this is really important and needs to be taken care of before we talk about strategy, flows, and automations. Number one thing they need to worry about is dedicated sending domain. We never send our emails from Klaviyo shared IP. If we did, we would be putting the health of the business in someone else's hand. We always set up the dedicated sending domain that allows us to take control of the health of our email list. It also improves email engagement and builds trust because our list contacts don't see Klaviyo mail in our sending domain, right? So we have to have a dedicated sending domain, right? Usually with our company's domain, right? We don't want to use Klaviyo's default, IP. Essentially, like it just looks bad. It looks unprofessional, right? Now, next step is email authentication, right? So this is part of deliverability, right? It's still part of deliverability. So email authentication to maximize deliverability for the long term is a necessity to set up DMARC, DKIM, and SPF records in the DNS records, right? It is a one-time investment that ensures sufficient sending infrastructure in the email account forever. This is basically an ID, right? So you need an ID to get into a club. This DMARC, DKIM, SPF is essentially like an ID, right? On your email ID, if that makes sense, right? So this Klaviyo or any inbox doesn't think that you're basically a spam or spammy email, basically. You can get in, right? And it builds trust with with the other email providers, right? So setting up email authentication is like having your ID online. We need our ID to get in, right? Blacklist. So we need to make sure that we're off this blacklist. Right? So we test for blacklist on this website. Again, if you guys want access to this document, DM us the word resource on the IDMA Instagram page, and we'll send this document, this whole doc over to you. And you can obviously access these links and stuff like that, right? We make sure that we are manually removed from all blacklists to ensure maximum email deliverability, right? So that's that. So that's how we make sure that our emails are being delivered right into the inbox. So we take care of blacklists. We authenticate our emails. So basically getting the ID right to build trust with these email providers, and dedicated sending domain. Again, this makes us look professional and also it puts the health of our business in our hands, in our control, right? We don't want to leave this to Klaviyo, because if Klaviyo's reputation is bad, then, which it probably is, then we won't be landing on people's inboxes, because our emails will be bouncing. Basically, it won't even be landing on the inbox, right? So basically, there's three factors: dedicated sending domain, email authentication, and blacklist, right? Now, the second implementation step within the retention phase is growing your email list. Once we make sure that our emails will land on our customers' inboxes, the next step is to start growing our list. There are two main reasons why we must grow our list. Let's get the obvious one out of the way first. The more contacts on the list, the more money we can extract, right? Now, here is the second reason most brand owners do not think about. Email contacts will naturally churn, right? They don't stay with us forever. No one carries on opening your emails forever, right? So they churn at some point, right? And they might come back as well and come back being part of your email list. So it's a cycle, right? But no one will keep opening our emails forever. Therefore, the rate at which our list grows must exceed our churn rate, right? Churn rate is the rate at which subscribers or customers stop transacting with your business, right? Another thing to consider here is the quality of our email subscribers. Doing giveaway incentives to get email addresses on the list will get a lot of people on a list with no intent to buy anything, right? Because they go in because of a giveaway that you're doing you're giving away something for free, right? So they gave their email just to get an opportunity to get a gift, essentially. So they don't have no purchase intent. So having these people can actually affect the quality of your subscribers, right? Now, and that can have a negative impact on your deliverability. We worked so hard to get. Why? Because these new subscribers will probably not engage with the emails you send to sell them a product, which decreases the overall engagement rates of your list. In addition to that, you could experience higher spam complaints and ultimately not reaching recipients' inboxes at all. Klaviyo or other email softwares also charge you based on the number of contacts in your list. So if you have a large number of subscribers who are not engaged or interested in your products, you may be paying for contacts that are not contributing to your bottom line revenue. Klaviyo obviously charges you a monthly subscription, right? And if based on the number of subscribers that you have, right? So if you have subscribers that are not engaging with your emails, it basically means that you make no money from the subscribers, right? And if you make no money from them, then you're basically paying Klaviyo for nothing, right? You're paying for a service that doesn't contribute to your bottom line. So what's the point, right? So that's that. And that's obviously inefficient or pointless. So with all that being said, what we are optimizing for here is sign-up conversion rate, right? And there are 3 factors that contribute to your sign-up conversion rate. Number 1, offer. 2, copy and design. 3, pop-up settings, right? So number 1, offer. Let's go through the offer. When it comes to offers, I've been wanting to get this out of my chest for a long time. I genuinely think that the reason brand owners have a pop-up offer is because they were pressured into doing so. The reason I think this is because I refuse to believe that the best offer every single brand owner is able to come up with is a 15% off offer. Every brand has a 15% off offer pop up when they're asking for your email. So, you have to get more creative with this, right? I genuinely feel like someone is going around forcing them to put that offer up. If you think a 10% off offer is enough of an incentive for someone to join your list, you can't be serious. With that out of my chest, let's continue. Now, obviously, what I'll say here is like, again, any offer you make has to be in line with your unit economics, right? So if all you can do is 10% off, great, right? But if you can, please be more creative and create more compelling offers, because everybody sees 10 to 15% offers, like even 20% offers. Everybody sees that, right? Everybody when they go to a website, they always see that, right? So you need to stand out. You need to create more, compelling offers, right? But again, if that's what you can do, great. So let's move on. This offer is the main factor when it comes to getting customers in our customer database. To craft this offer, we need to be strategic. For example, if our main objective is to increase customer lifetime value, then free gift with purchase or a big discount on a bundle might make more sense. Obviously, free gift with purchase builds goodwill, right? So if they get free gift, they're gonna feel like they got more than they deserved, right? And again, it's almost like you're weighing to building a relationship, right? You're giving away more than than needed, essentially. So they feel like, oh wow, like they really care about me, essentially, right? So and that's that. So whereas if we want to maximize for average order value, incentivizing customers with tiered discount based on their purchase total might be the best way to go, because obviously you're collecting more cash up front. Even if you're doing a discount, you're still collecting more cash up front. So this is a different, kind of offer. So like, for example, spend 50 or more and get 10% off. Spend $100 or more and get 15% off. And spend $150 or more and get 20% off, right? So there's still incentivized to spend more. Even if you're doing a discount, it's still spending more. So that's what you want, right? You want to increase your average order value, you could do that. So depending on what you're optimizing for, whether a customer lifetime value or average order value, your offer has to change depending on that. You have to be very strategic with it, right? It's not just let's throw a 10% offer in there. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you can, try and be more creative, right? Of course, the offer you create depends on the products you sell and the unit economics. As I said, it all depends on the unit economics, right? If it makes sense, please be more creative. As a brand owner, you need to become a data analyst and split test different offers and see which one is getting you the most signups. Cool. The second aspect, like I said, when it comes to when it comes to growing your email list is the copy and design. The main thing we want to do with your copy here is make sure our copy stands out straight away. And we also want to make our design aesthetically pleasing and unique. Remember, it's the first thing potential customers notice, so it's a good idea to spend some time on it. As I said in the funnel optimization phase, phase 3, you want to use what is in it for them. What is in it for them copy, right? So instead of saying, give me your email list, you can say, receive a 10%, 15%, off your next purchase, if you subscribe to our email letter, basically. So, you could even say, where should I send your 10% discount, right? And you can put an email box there for them to put in their email, right? So be creative, like lead with what they get, not just what you want, right? Lead with what they get, right? Now, the next thing is, so we got, cool. So we got offer, we got copy and design, and we got pop-up settings, right? So here are a few ways to set up your pop-up settings. So you could do this. So you could delay for 6 to 12 seconds before presenting it to a potential customer. So when they land on your site, you could maybe wait 6 to 12 seconds and then have the pop-up come up, right? You could show it. You could show the pop-up on exit intent instead. So if they're trying to leave the website, you could show the pop-up then, right? So you could do it that way. You could show after they scroll 50% of the page. So if they scroll like halfway through the page, you could show it at that point, because obviously they have interest in whatever it is that you sell, right? So based on that interest, you want to get the email. That's a different way to do it. You can also you sometimes consider a micro commitment step before asking their email and phone number. For example, let me break this micro commitment step down, right? Let me break it down. So we get them to say yes to receiving a small benefit like a discount, and then ask for the additional information like email address and phone number. The best thing to do once again as a brand owner is to become a data analyst and split test the different settings and find out which settings works best for your e-commerce brand. You should always aim to get about 5 to 10% of website traffic to give you their emails. So that's the benchmark. That's the KPI. So you want 10% of your website traffic to actually give you their emails and join your newsletter, right? Cool. So the next thing is core flows, right? So we got deliverability, we got growing your email list, and now we have core flows, right? As I previously said, to build a relationship with your potential customers or existing customers, we need to meticulously put relevant touch points in place that nurture the customer or prospect where they are in the customer journey. Whether they just signed up to the email list or bought for the 5th time, we need to trigger automations that give value and enable buying decisions, right? So first automation, first core automation is the welcome flow. I think most brands have this one, to be fair, but it's just not that good, right? The goal here is to turn prospects into customers and get them into the lifetime contribution margin, right? Flywheel. Make sure you know how to frame your offer or create context for the sale instead of just trying to sell something, right? This is very important. This is the difference. It makes a difference. This is important because subscribers who receive a well-positioned and relevant offer are more likely to engage with your emails, make a purchase, and remain loyal customers over time. So let me give you a tangible example. Instead of simply offering a generic discount code like get 10% off your first purchase, you could frame the offer more effectively within your welcome flow. For example, welcome to skincare brand name, right? Whatever the case may be, right? As a thank you for joining our community dedicated to healthy, glowing skin, we're excited to offer you an exclusive welcome gift. Enjoy a complimentary deluxe sample of our best-selling moisturizers with your first purchase. Right? So if you see this, can you see how much more effective this will be? As always, here is a simple framework you can use to get started. So your welcome flow could follow these things. Now, 6. Right. So the first email of your welcome sequence flow, right? You could have a warm welcome / exclusive offer. So like we just did right now here, right? Extend a warm welcome to your new subscribers and entice them with an exclusive offer or incentive to make the first purchase, right? The second email could be a brand introduction, essentially introduce your brand ethos, values, and unique selling propositions to foster a deeper connection beyond just the products or services you offer. The third email could be a social proof showcase. So highlight testimonials, reviews, or user-generated content that showcases the positive experiences of other customers, reinforcing trust and credibility in your brand, right? The fourth email, identify common pain points or challenges that your target audience faces and present your products or services as a solution to alleviate these issues. Obviously, if you've gone through the audience research phase, you already have a bunch of true insights, right? So you can leverage those in these emails. Once again, audience research is the foundation to everything, right? Urgency and scarcity. Create a sense of urgency by reminding subscribers of limited time offers or expiring discounts, encouraging them to take action before missing out. And then personalized check-in. Reach out to subscribers who haven't made a purchase yet with a personalized follow-up email and ask for feedback or reasons for not purchasing and offer an upgraded discount or incentive to encourage conversions. Right? This last one is put optional and it's not a must. We do not want to come across as desperate. Now, the way you have to do this email, I wish I actually put an example here. Like you don't say, "Oh, why didn't you buy?" Like obviously, right? You don't email them saying, "Why didn't you buy?" But you have to frame it in a way where it's like you're asking for feedback, like you're asking for suggestions, right? It's don't ask why didn't you buy. Just say like what could we have done better, or ask for feedback. Frame it in a way where you're looking for suggestions or ways to improve, right? So you don't come across desperate, right? So that's that, right? So let's move on. Cool. Now, abandoned checkout flow. The goal here is to encourage potential. This is the second core flow, by the way. This is second core flow. The goal here is to encourage potential customers or existing customers to continue with the sales process. Remember, to handle non-monetary objections before introducing discounts, right? So we don't want to just say, here's a discount straight away. We want to handle all the objections that they may have, right, about the products, right? Because maybe the reason why they're not converting is not related to the money or the price of your product. It may be related to an objection they may have. So let's handle the objections before we get to the price, right? And maybe they'll purchase before we even get to the price objection, because they might not even have a price objection in the first place. It's just they're unsure about something to do with the products, right? So address concerns, anticipate and address any hesitations or concerns the customer may have, such as shipping costs or product quality. Reiterate the benefits of your products and reassure them of their value, right? Email 2, you can incentivize. Provide an incentive to encourage the customer to complete their purchase, but do so strategically. Offer a discount or special promotion only after addressing non-price related objections they may have, right? As I said previously, right? 3, urgency. Create a sense of urgency by reminding the customer that the discount code is about to expire, right? That's again, you wanna create urgency, because urgency makes people wanna buy now and not later. You always want people to transact now, not later, right? Now, right? So urgency does that, right? This final reminder encourages them to take action before missing out on the opportunity to save on the purchase. Avoid basic "you forgot something" headlines. And they are basic and everybody uses them. So again, it's all about standing out and trying to be creative, right? So as long as you follow this framework, you should be fine, right? And then phase 4.3.4, right? So post-purchase flow, right? This is another core flow, right? So after people buy something, they get hit with this email flow, right? So maximize value in the first 30 days post-purchase. Again, we want to have an average purchase cycle that's shorter. The shorter the cycle is, the faster we can realize the lifetime contribution margin, and the faster we can scale, because we have more profit, more money to play with, right? So when people buy something, you want to get them to buy again and again and again quickly, right? So they can realize their value, right? Right, so that's that, right? Leverage the heightened engagement levels during this period to reinforce the value proposition and solidify the customer's commitment to your brand, right? Here's a simple framework you can use to get started. So number one, express appreciation. So to mitigate any buyer's remorse, when people buy from you, they usually might sometimes feel like, or maybe I should not bought them. They start feeling a bit of doubt, right? It happens to every consumer, right? It happens to everybody, right? But if you say thank you, you reassure them. It's almost like you're telling them, yeah, you made the right choice. Good job, right? Thank you for choosing your brand name. So, whatever your brand name is, your support means the world to us, and we're thrilled to have you as part of our community. Email 2, offer ongoing support and encourage social media engagement while awaiting the product, right? We are here if you need anything. Slash follow socials while you wait, right? So you get them to engage with our social media and understand more about what we do and why we do what we do, and they stay in our ecosystem, right? Guide users on product usage for optimal results. This depends on the kind of brand you have. Obviously, there are some brands that you might need to do that, but if you're a clothing brand, you might not need to do this, because obviously clothing is clothing. There's not really much you can do with it. It's just you wear clothing, right? But if you have a skincare brand, or you have I don't know, beauty products, makeup, whatever girls use, right? I'm sure you might want to have tutorials on how to use that, right? So that's that. Here's how to get here's how to get the best results with the products. So that's that. Number 4, foster habit formation by emphasizing the benefits and offering accountability. This depends on the kind of brand you have. Again, it depends on what you're selling, right? It might apply to you, but yeah, results are around the corner. Keep using the product. We are here to keep you accountable. Maybe it's a supplement for nutrition, whatever the case may be. Maybe this applies to that, but yeah, if it doesn't apply to you, don't worry about it. Step 5, prompt a repeat purchase, ideally with a time-sensitive offer. So like I said, you want to get them to buy a second time, third time, as fast as possible, so we can realize that value, that lifetime contribution margin, right? Number 6, issue a reminder or final opportunity to make another purchase, highlighting the current advantageous circumstances. Now is the best time for you to buy again, XY reason, right? Cool. Obviously, these are the main 3 or 4 core flows, right? Post-purchase flow, abandoned checkout flow, and welcome flow. Obviously, there's more flows. I can go through countless flows, right? But obviously, this training will be 20 hours long, right? It's already long enough. So yeah, these are some other kind of flows that you want to have, right? Very important. Again, we're not gonna go through all of them right now, because again, there's a lot of them. We could even have more than these ones, to be fair, right? So, but yeah, that's that. Again, if you want access to this document, DM us the word resource on our IDMA Instagram page, and we'll send it over to you, right? So again, the word resource, right? So that's that. Next thing is campaigns, right? So that's the 4th. So we have number 1, deliverability. Number 2, growing your email list. Number 3, core flows and automations. The 4 implementation step is campaigns, right? In the retention phase, right? So campaigns. Before we break down how to create the best email campaigns, let me tell you some of the biggest mistakes brand owners make so that you can avoid doing the same thing. Lack of personalization, sending generic emails that don't address the recipient's specific needs or preferences. Number 2, overwhelming content, including too much information or too many CTAs in a single email, leading to confusion and decreased engagement, right? Number 3, neglecting mobile optimization, failing to optimize emails for mobile devices, which can result in poor readability and lower click-through rates, right? This one is very important, because most of people consuming your emails are doing so from a smartphone, right? So I think this one is a common sense one, to be fair. 4, ignoring segmentation, sending the same email to all subscribers without segmenting based on demographics, behavior, or preferences, right? Segmentation is very important, right? Now, when it comes to creating email campaigns that get you the results you want, it's totally dependent on how well you do these 3 things. Number 1, email content, right? Number 2, segmentation, right? And number 3, sending cadence. So in other words, what's in your email, who you send it to, right? How good you are at sending emails to each of your subscribers or each type of subscriber. And 3, how often you send emails, right? So those are 3 factors that affect your campaign. You're gonna break them down, each one individually. So for the sake of not making this video too long, we will not be going into too much detail, but I'm still going to give you the basics you need to succeed, essentially, as I said. When it comes to email content, there are 6 main content pillars you can recycle for your campaigns. So product promotion, social proof, engagement, lapsed, and VIP. So product, send this to engaged segment, and you can exclude recent purchases. When it comes to promotion, send to whole list. So send to the whole list / engaged if we want to really drive revenue, right? Don't overdo it. Obviously, don't keep pushing promotions all the time, right? It can come across very salesy, and that's the easiest way to get people to leave your subscriber list, right? Send to purchases monthly. So people that haven't bought yet might not be too they might not be ready to, like, people that haven't bought yet might not be in a frame of mind where you can send them constant emails about different products, right? Maybe they're still unsure about something. Sending to them all the time might not be the best approach, right? So when it comes to non-purchases, send it to them monthly, right? And once they make the purchase, you can increase the frequency, right? But this, again, this comes down to segmenting your audience, right? But yeah, we'll get to segmentation in a second. But so promotion emails, right? And then you have social proof, which is you send this to non-purchasers, people that haven't made the purchase yet, and send to engaged segments from time to time, right? So again, non-purchasers they haven't made the purchase for a reason yet. Social proof makes them feel like they need to make a purchase, and because other people have also made the purchase, so you probably should do the right thing and make a purchase too, right? So that's what social proof does, right? And 4th type of email content is engagement, send to engage content, right? So it's the kind of emails that you send to educate people about your values, or even just like in general, any new updates that's going on with the company, you might want to do that as well. So send to engage segments, right? Lapsed, this is people that have essentially that have stopped engaging with your emails, right? So, and then VIP, send to repeat buyers segments every 6 to 8 weeks, right? So that's the different type of content, right? So VIP type of content, labs type of content, engagement type of content, social proof content, promotion content, and product content, right? Now, here are a few campaign ideas from each pillar to get immediate ROI from your emails. So number 1, with the product, you have a product highlight, collection highlights, product comparison, why ours is better than the competitor, present products as solution to the problem, product education. So all the kind of things to do with products. And this also, let me zoom out a little bit. So these are the content pillars for each one. So promotion, get gift with purchase, flash sale, get it before it's gone. For social proof, showcase reviews, us versus them, authority highlights, featured in Forbes. So this kind of like, this kind of stuff to build social proof and authority, right? Engagement could be FAQs, blog post, reply to this email, product quiz, education, right? So all these kind of things, right? Labs could be re-engage offer, personal message from the founder, things like that, right? So to encourage people to engage with the email. And then VIP content could be behind the scenes, UGC requests, because they're repeat purchases. So these are people that are very engaged with your brand. So they love your brand. So you could actually ask for reviews and ask for UGC content and stuff like that. Survey, data collection, these are your best customers. So you want to understand them, better than they understand themselves. And the best way to do that is by getting feedback from them. Personal message from the founder, you could do that there as well, right? And then the last stage is segmentation, right? So we've gone through email content, not the last stage, but the second to last stage, segmentation, right? So we've gone through email content, now we've gone through segmentation, and then we'll go through cadence. We don't overcomplicate segmentation. Simple's best, usually. Here are the core segments you should send to 95% send 95% of the time, right? You should send 95% of the time. Engaged, so that's 90 days or more, preferably if engagement allows for it. If not, you can do 30 days or more, right? So if they've been engaged for 90 days or more, you can that's one segment. The second segment is first time buyer, and purchased equals once over all time. So they've made at least one purchase, right? And repeat buyers purchase 2 times or more over all time. Purchases purchased at least once over all time. This segment is used to distinguish between those who have bought something before, purchases, and those who have never made a purchase, non-purchases, right? So first time buyers is different from purchases, because first time buyer is someone that's just made the first purchases. Purchases could be more than once, right? So yeah, and then also you have lapse. That's the last segment, right? Again, you can have more segments, right? But again, if you want to keep things very simple, these are the core segments you need. You absolutely need these segments, right? Purchased at least once over all time, but not purchased in the last 120 days, right? So again, these people can become these people if they don't make a purchase, right? So those are the different segments, right? Very simple. And the last thing is sending cadence. If your brand is doing 50 to 100K per month, this is just a rule of thumb, by the way. It's not a hard rule. It's a rule of thumb, right? It's just, again, give or take. 50 to 100K per month, send 3 emails per week. Brands doing less than 50K per month, you should be sending 1 to 2 emails per week. Now, again, this is not a hard rule. You can send more. I wouldn't recommend sending less than 2 a week, to be fair, right? I would say send at least 2 a week. But again, if you have a bigger brand, you have more subscribers, you have a bigger list, a bigger newsletter, they can send more emails, right? Because you don't want to annoy email list subscribers, but I think people feel like your email subscribers can get annoyed if you send them emails all the time, but that's not really the case. But you could get to a point where it's like, okay, cool, relax, like don't be sending me too many emails, right? So you wanna keep a balance, right? You don't wanna do it too much, right? So what to send? Product or promotion focused, to engagement or social proof focused. 3, mixing other content pillars like VIP or lapse when needed, right? Very simple. We've gone through the content pillars, the core 6 content pillars. So obviously there's more content pillars, but these are the core 6 essentially. So remember, every brand is different. So include a mix of everything to test and see what performs best. Reminder, align the calendar with the wider marketing mix. This is very important, right? Aligning the calendar with the wider marketing mix means ensuring that the email marketing efforts are coordinated and integrated with all other marketing activities that a brand uses to promote its products. For example, paid ads, right? As you can see, retention isn't sexy at all, but when executed properly, it will take your brand to different heights. And that's our retention phase, right? So that's everything that you really need to know about retention, essentially. Obviously, we could have gone into more detail, more core flows, more automations and stuff like that. But again, this training will be extremely long, right? We could spend all day talking about email, right? But these are the main 4 parts of the retention system, essentially. So you have number 1, deliverability. Number 2, growing your email list. Number 3, core flows. And number 4, campaigns, right? Those are the main 4 factors within to have a good retention system, right? Those are the main core factors: deliverability, growing your email list, core flows, automations, and campaigns, right? If you have those 4 things dialed in, you're gonna have a sick retention system, and you're gonna be able to convert users repeatedly, right? And of course, you're gonna be able to scale, even if your ad account metrics or numbers are not looking good, right? If you have good business numbers, right, and you're profitable on the back end, don't worry about the ad account numbers, right? And of course, I will still advise you to still be profitable on the front end, if possible, because it makes everything easier. But if you have good business numbers, it doesn't have to be, right? Because you're gonna make more money on the back end once you acquire the user, or once you get a first time purchase, right? So that's that. So that's everything. So we've gone through 4 out of 5 components of our growth infrastructure, right? we still have more to go in this training. I still have a few more things that I want to share with you in this training. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next part. But yes, to summarize, we've gone through our growth thesis. We've gone through the audience research and offer refinement phase. We've gone through the promotion phase. We've gone through the funnel optimization phase. And now we've just gone through retention, right? But like I said, I got some more things I want to share with you guys in this training. So I'll see you in the next part, right? And this brings us to the end of the video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you're looking for free specific help with your digital marketing efforts, feel free to book a free consultation call with us. To do that, all you need to do is click the first link in the description of this video, choose a date, and fill in a short questionnaire about your business. An IDMA growth consultant will get a call with you to give you advice and actionable steps to solve any specific digital marketing problem you're currently facing with your e-commerce brand. Now, full disclosure, at the end of the consultation call, if our growth consultants determine that your brand meets our required standards, then we might consider a partnership with you. At IDMA, we do not consider a partnership with every brand owner. In fact, we only partner with brand owners that are in a position to rapidly scale their brands with the help of our growth team. With that being said, book a consultation with us to get free specific help with your digital marketing efforts. Thank you for watching this video. Take care.